Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, this is Lithium017 from my channel, Nintendo Collecting 101, and I have received a lot of requests of doing a how-to video for this NES coffee table you are looking at right now. It's a great addition to my room, and I will show you not only how to paint this one, but it's the same process to paint any kind of table. I do paint and sell university tables for beer pong and for flip cup and for different activities and things like that. So the main thing about making one of these tables is that you need to have a good design in mind. So this is my design for the coffee table. Measure it, figure out what your dimensions need to be. I modeled it after the controller. You can go to the link in the underbar, which will go to Facebook, and that one shows you what I actually used for making this table. But you need supplies, and I suggest using acrylic paint. I buy the Craftsmart $1, basically, really small containers. For certain colors that you'll use a lot of, buy the bigger sizes. You see a large white and a black one in the top left corner there. But basically, you're going to want to get paint, and you're also going to want to create these little cutouts that I'm going to print on photo paper, and I cut them out by hand to actually glue to my table after I was done the processing stage. I find doing lettering is very difficult. I've done it in the past, but it sucks. So first things first, buy some primer and get yourself a table, measure it, figure out the dimensions, and create your design. Here, I put on primer. I suggest you put on 3 or 4 coats of primer, and that's really what is needed to make the paint pop later on. But that's a lot of coats, but I always put on at least 3 coats of primer. So here you see the table, actually, with its 3 coats of primer. After that, I suggest that you tape down any areas that you can to make painting easier for yourself. I suggest getting frog tape. It's great for painting. This case, I did not use frog tape, and I actually regretted that a little bit. Here I taped down basically around the directional pad and the different sections and the buttons to make painting a little bit easier for myself. I also mixed together the right gray paint with white and with black or with gray to kind of come up with my color for the outskirts of the table. But here you see I actually put my first few coats of black down. You want to put 3 to 5 coats of color until basically it looks perfect. After the black was done, I taped different sections of the table to make the detail work easier for myself, and then I fixed all the edges I needed to. And I use a very fine hand for doing that. I use a very fine brush, a very steady hand. I've made 14 of these tables basically, so I got pretty good at it. After that, you want to basically use that custom paint color I used, and then I take off all the tape, and then fix everything I can. So now the rough shape came out. Then after you do a little bit more work, you smooth out the designs. There it is when it's done painting, and here it is after it's done, and I need to just basically glue down those lettering. So basically step 1, find a table, sand it if you need to, put on 3 to 4 coats of primer, then tape the table as best you can, then put on 3 to 4 coats of color everywhere you need to put color on the table. Remove your tape carefully and fix your edges, and then put on more tape and put on more design. Basically, doing these tables has taken me anywhere between 20 and 40 hours of work. It does take a lot of time. I usually sell them for a few hundreds of dollars when it actually comes down to it because it just takes me so long. Supplies usually cost anywhere in the order of 50 bucks. And basically, if you can put down anything in pencil beforehand to make your life easier to tape it and to put on a few coats, because the final product, when you actually urethane over it, looks tremendous. And I put 4 to 5 coats of urethane, 6 hours in between. And here it is when it actually has 6 coats on it. It's waterproof. It's going to hold up. First and foremost, your design needs to be perfect. If your design sucks, your final product will suck. So I always make sure I really like my design first before I actually go to the painting stages. Here is my design for my most recent table, and here is the final product, looking outstanding, I must say. So here's my older tables. This was the first table I made, kind of a football field. These two were just table toppers. However, I have made many tables with legs, including this McMaster Marauders table. And any school in Southern Ontario, I basically made a table for. Guelph Griffins, Mohawk. I even made an engineering beer pong table for the University of Waterloo for my roommates, because they were all engineers. And if you want to make yourself a Nintendo table or an NES coffee table, make sure you first measure your table, then prime it 3 to 4 times, paint it with 3 to 4 coats, and then you want to put on urethane 4 to 5 coats with 4 to 5 hours in between each coat. Feel free to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and remember, as always, game on.